Let's start our final session in AI or large language models. And today, well, as usual, congratulations that you survived until the very end. We really appreciate that you were successfully completing all your assignments. And as I always said, it means for us a lot. So today we're going to talk about future prospects for large language models. So this very last session will be related to the first one when we were trying to address the question why large language models. Let's dive deeper a bit. Why large language models? Let's talk about the advantages, and let's talk about projects that can be done related to them, and also looking forward a bit, as usual, some spoilers in the beginning that your very last assignment will be creative, and you will need to come up with a project proposal. So you will need to think of an idea of creating some solution that will be based on a large language model. And this is why this our last session will be a sort of source of inspiry for you. So let it begin then. So as you may discover, the most popular, I would say at least, popular direction of AI development and a field in artificial intelligence. This is generative artificial intelligence. And important to understand where generative AI is used at the moment. So let's recall again what are the numbers that are about usage of artificial intelligence among different type of businesses and among like a total share of companies. What we see is that the share of companies that are using AI is steadily increases, at least from the time when LLMs became that widely accepted. So since 2022. So since this time, we can see that there is a increasing trend in amount of companies that are adopting AI or using it at least one business function. And this is not a source of, this is not something new for us, right? So as we probably, as all of us have noticed, in all spheres of our day-to-day tasks, well, we are using AI more and more. And if we are doing that, it means that businesses, they also do that. Not only because the regular employees are doing that, but you need to introduce these technologies on a company level. And the next question here is where you can use it. So what are the common ways how companies are using AI? And here the first place goes to customer service. These are all these numerous assistants that you have in your banks, in your shopping platforms, or maybe sometimes related to government services, where these AI-based solutions, they are trying to replace call centers. They are trying to replace all these systems that provide help for users. Cybersecurity and fraud prevention, I think, also understandable, especially relevant for banking sector, where fraud prevention is one of the hottest topics everywhere. So if you are thinking of applying machine learning, applying artificial intelligence, or thinking of diving into this, think of fraud prevention. However, the third place, at least for me, is very interesting. These are digital assistants. And well, it's sometimes difficult to consider it as a separate topic. Why? Because in a customer service field, as we said, we already said this word assistant, right? And these are digital assistants, of course. So these are some specific chatbots that are, or not only chatbots, but this is an AI agent who helps us with a certain operations with an access to separate to certain information, right? So where this digital assistant can be used. So consider any examples. Like give me something. So digital assistants, personal assistants based on AI. Where?
Maybe when users want to book something, so it can help to select.
Nice. Yeah, to find, let's say, closest, best restaurant, right? And based on comments, based on other users' gradings, it will propose you some options, and after that, it will book a place automatically for you. Okay, nice suggestion. Anything else? Try to think of anything that is not covered yet. So I mean, certainly, at least once in your life, you thought of, oh, it would be cool if there was an assistant to do this for me. What else?
Maybe for task management and schedule organizing.
Yeah, so if we are talking about teamwork, then assistants based on AI are becoming common thing, right? So when you want to do task management control, so this is what project managers do usually. So replacement of project managers. Okay, good. What else? Where you really need personal assistance. So where solutions based on OpenAI or Gemini or anything, they are not good enough.
Maybe in studying, like very specific things that are not uh, like common.
Well, I like this topic of education. I very like this topic. We can expand it. We can expand it. Related to what you are saying, but give me a concrete example. So what do you mean? So why ChatGPT will be bad and what you are thinking of will be better and how?
Mm, it's still like if we talk about the RAG models, they're
Okay.
quite good, but I think there are some areas that are not um, very strong.
So where I think that you're talking about some specific knowledge that ChatGPT, for example, cannot have. So when you want to educate, I don't know, the secrets of cooking of a particular chef who wrote down these receipts, and he has his private knowledge that does not exist on the internet. And ChatGPT will be bad in this because he doesn't have access to this information. So this is why, if we are talking about this specific education, that is based on some proprietary information that is stored somewhere, then that's going to be a problem for ChatGPT. Okay, but yeah, as you said, RAG technology, you just take these textbooks and you can have your personal assistant on this using what already existed. So it seems like you can easily solve this problem of unique information. You just can create your educational assistant based on these books. But I like your idea of education. And let's think how AI models can be used in in educational process more. So what it can do apart from giving you answers based on books, etc., where it can be super helpful. And I think it's going to be revolution in education.
Uh,
If it's not yet a revolution. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, ChatGPT just or like recently got a study mode for students, and like when you ask for information to this kind of ChatGPT model, it sort of questions you. It uses the Socratic method, so it tries to make you understand the material um, before giving you a straight answer.
Yeah, and you can instruct it in this way. So it will be your more like a trainer, not just a source of information. But think of more. So you're going in the right direction. I like it. But try to think more. What else ChatGPT can do?
Maybe provide you a program, something like that.
Provide, this is about supplying information. So it's just like, like an access to information. But what else? What is what is necessary in educational process? What students
Maybe
do?
practicing, like,
Okay. So if you need to practice, what do you do as a student? You do some exercise, right? But
yes,
what comes next?
someone has to check it.
Exactly. So somebody needs to grade it. Somebody needs to grade it. And also, what is really important is ability to grade open questions. So when you are not just grading multiple choice answers, like A, B, C, D, it's super easy. But when a person gives you an open answer, so an answer in a couple of sentences, this is what's really important to check. One thing. The second thing, answers, this is text, but what would be super helpful to check as well, especially related to related to a field that's getting more and more popular right now, becoming dominating actually, programming, right? So you can think of AI-based grader that will be uh, that will be able to grade your code that you submit, to run it to see whether it works or not, and look inside and try to give you a hint where there can be possibly a mistake, an error in this code. So I think this is very important. So even we are thinking, and we are working on a project like that, educational project in teaching students the advanced machine learning models. So where you, I mean, basically advanced machine learning models, these are pieces of code that you can provide uh, inside a field, special field on a website, and this your assistant will grade you and tell you whether you have a correct answer or not. So this what can make educational process interactive. And I think that, I mean, it's super helpful. At least my generation and during my time, we were studying in Coursera, right? And Coursera, this is not a interactive course. So this is just multiple choice answers, and I mean, it helps, of course, but it's super limited. Introducing AI type of agents, educational agents, will make it way more interesting for students, and way more tasks can be asked for. So I think that these type of assistants that are used in education is super hot topic for AI, and If you're thinking of developing something on your own, try to think about it as well. All right. Uh, about the paces of growth, of course, everyone now predicts that pace will be close to exponential. And I think that they base their consideration on the last 3 years where we see this growth exactly exponential. It's very discussable whether it's going to continue, but at least let's be optimistic and let's think of where these AI assistants can be used. And as we said before, chatbots is the primary way how people can interact with your system using AI solutions. So what is a chatbot? So what is a chatbot? Chatbot, this is something that we all know from the ChatGPT, right? So this is a solution where you basically interact as you interact with your friends in your all social networks, but you're just interacting with a large language model. And why chatbots are so special? Because you can implement a chatbot mostly everywhere. You can have your own chatbot on your website. And today we're going to see how we implemented it in one of our projects. The second way how you can implement a chatbot is using your social network. So now I think all social networks they adopt and somehow make it available to launch a chatbot. For example, Telegram, WhatsApp, or I think that even Facebook and all of them. Somehow they make it available for users to have a chatbot there. Not sure about some specific social networks like LinkedIn, but nevertheless, you always have a way how to connect your AI agent. I do not know about legal properties about this solution. So, for example, you want to have a user who is controlled by AI agent who sends messages to people. For example, inviting them to a certain event. By the way, can you consider an example where you could be interested in a solution of this type, where you would like to have a AI agent who sends messages or doing something in a network, in a social network? Give me an example.
When you are a blogger and you want like to be more popular,
Okay, but what is the strategy? So why do you need an AI agent?
maybe he will text a comments and maybe it will increase your popularity and
Okay, personal, so like human-like comments, so make it real. Um, Okay, so these are sometimes called, okay, you can think of army of such bots who are doing some things. Sometimes they are writing good comments, sometimes they are just posting like some shit in these comments. But this is what is already done. Okay, but give me another life example, real life example. Where would you need such an AI agent for yourself, for your tasks? Have you ever happened to be in a situation where you need to send a lot of messages to different people, like private messages, inviting them somewhere? Well, sometimes it happens. So you can think of a situation where you would like to invite a lot of, like, say, thousands of people, so that are somehow related to your university, and you want to, I do not know, perhaps you are willing to make a survey for your research. So what you're gonna do? You would invite them for an interview. sending them all these basic emails or basic messages like hi, name, I was inspired by, or I mean, it can be very structured, very similar to each other. And you just write these personal messages to people inviting them for an interview. Like, will you have some time? Or perhaps you even have a task on a website, so you're just inviting them to participate, uh, answering some questions in their survey on the internet. You're just sending some information to thousands of people. So spreading information basically, and doing it in a human-like way. So you're not spamming them, but you are writing them like yourself. So you have an agent who really has control over your account. But and you can even think of an agent who before sending this message collects some information about this person. For example, using his personal web page. So he sees what is his occupation, what are his interests, and perhaps this is somehow can be used in an email. So for example, you can have an extra instruction, write a personal message inviting to this particular survey and address this person appropriately, like using information about him from his bio in on his web page. You can have a task like that. All right, so chatbots and AI agents, this is something hot, and yeah, we had an experience using it, but we used it in LinkedIn. Okay. So let's talk about content, where this generative AI is commonly used. Uh, well, here computer code is separated from text. However, I would challenge it a bit and say that computer code is actually a subsection of text. So by type of data, computer code can be considered as text data. And it's not surprising that in these two domains of text and computer coding, we see that there is a major involvement of AI-based solution there. And if you, I mean, even you, when you were writing all these motivational letters, your CV, and especially if some of you use LaTeX, and LaTeX can be considered as computer code that is compiled and creates PDF file. And the same for smart contracts that some of you participated and survived until the end. In order to create this smart contract, you can easily use generative AI. Well, images, for me, it's a bit surprising that this comes before computer code because I would say that images should come after that, before video, perhaps. I wouldn't say that images are that, vital, that important. But yeah, sometimes you generate images. By the way, do you use it regularly? Do you generate images, and why?
I don't.
No.
And well, we did it a couple of times, so it was related to, when you need some logo, for example. So when you need some brand logo, and you are, trying to get some ideas, some inspiration, and this is where AI-based solution they can be very helpful. Voice and music, by the way, for us it was really helpful, especially related to voice. Can you give me an example when voice and the AI models that can be applied to voice can be super helpful? Give me an example.
Customer service.
Could you say that again?
Customer service.
Customer service, call center, exactly. So when you want, but why do you need voice? So you need voice to convert it to text, right? And after that, you will have a model, large language model that will interact with this text. So basically, and also you can think of another task when you need to create voice from a text speech. Give me an example of a field where you would need it. Oh, I think there was something in the chat. Text to speech, okay, but where would you need it? Where it would be helpful for you?
Make the interaction with the customer easier.
Uh, I mean, for me, text is enough in this in this application. I wouldn't talk if I don't have to talk. But when you would really like to hear a voice rather than reading something, what is this situation where it's not comfortable to read, but it's better to listen? Answering questions. Your questions. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Anything else? Anything else? So try to remember. It is, I mean, I'm sure you will remember when during your day you, for example, need to read something, but you would really like not to read. Well, let's think when this situation can happen. When reading is not that comfortable.
Maybe instead of audiobooks.
All right, you are thinking in the right direction. So audiobooks, they are very cool, especially if you do hiking, for example. So when you do hiking, you're watching mountains, right? You're not watching your book. So you want to hear what the narrator says. What could be expansion of this idea? All right, so when else it's not comfortable to read, but you would like to get this information.
When you're lecturing in Zoom.
Uh, maybe. But think of real life examples. So hiking was super cool because when you do hike, you're busy driving a car. Finally, of course, driving a car, or when you are, for example, in a subway. I mean, I hate, or when you're on a train. I hate reading in trains because, well, not all trains are super efficient in the sense that they are moving smoothly. Sometimes you are shaking, and when you are reading and your screen is shaking, it's very bad for your eyes. And riding a car as well. I mean, you can get fined if you're watching your smartphone screen while driving. It's just not. It's not okay. It's dangerous. So yeah, in these situations, and especially I think it's relevant for business people who are, say, driving their car while they're getting to the office in the morning, or when they're riding a train, or I mean, any type of transport. In a transport, it's not comfortable to read, so you would better listen. And I do not know, but also, tricky question. Where else during your life, during your day, where else? It's not possible to read, but you can listen.
Cooking.
Say it again.
Cooking.
Cooking. Okay, good. When else?
Also doing laundry.
Okay, hint, you're doing it every day almost.
Walking.
Okay, else in the morning, especially in the morning. I mean, I used to do it in the morning, taking shower. So when you're taking shower, you can listen to music. This is what I do regularly. But you can also listen to some news, and especially these news are, read in an interesting way. And it would be, I think, very helpful because you have this small amount of time. But if you are really busy, you would like to spend this time in efficient way. And suppose that you're really working with a lot of information. Say that you're working in a financial sector, and you need to digest all this news constantly. Because, well, when you arrive to your work, everybody will, in some sense, interact with you based on these topics. And for you, it could be a nice example, right? So you would like to have this personal assistant who collects information and after that reads it out loud to you. Yeah, so also you can think of this example. All right, so not surprisingly, a lot of different platforms they already adopted different AI solutions, beginning from Google, and I like a lot the way how they adopted it because, well, the way how they placed this small summary, I mean, I like it very much. But apart from Google, you can see a lot of different solutions. Also, Zoom. We regularly use it, and I do not know whether you do, but we like a lot, especially when you are talking in English. The way how it summarizes English sessions compared to other languages is way, I mean, super super nice to get the summary of what you were discussing. Sometimes it's super helpful. Also, I do not know whether you know or not. Zoom also makes it available if your AI assistant working. I do not know whether we turned it on. I think that it's not turned on. AI assistant. No, I think it's not enabled because I turned it off when I was organizing this meeting. But you can turn it on, and super nice solution for lazy people. Suppose that it's your morning meeting and with your team, and you were out for 5 minutes and you missed what people were saying. Now you can just ask this assistant in real time what was discussed during these 5 minutes or even more. So very nice navigation information in real time during the meetings. And of course, there are many, many other examples. And I do not know how many of these you have already saw, but these are that we are familiar with at least. Uh, okay, talking about AI assistants, I think that AI assistant now is a super popular solution. Why? Because AI assistant comes when you need something specific. And this specific task comes from particular information and particular knowledge that this assistant is working on. So you can consider McKinsey. And of course, McKinsey as a hub of information, as a hub of different practical knowledge, they have all their own databases. They have all their own databases that nobody has. And it means what? It means that they can consult you. So they can make this AI assistant that will be unique in the sense that it will be connected to information source that nobody has. So this is why I think that AI assistants will be everywhere. They are already everywhere, but they will be more and more adopted, especially for corporations that are dealing with a lot of documents. And I would say that mostly all widely international corporations they are dealing with a lot of proprietary data that they want to structure somehow and navigate somehow and also analyze somehow and also digest and also produce reports, etc. So now these are special people are doing this. But consider a central bank. Consider a central bank. Consider any international organization that needs to know all these reports, what other central banks produce. So consider a financial company, by some like investment bank, who wants to be, on the frontier, what's going on in financial industry in terms of regulation, in terms of what's happening with other companies. And you can imagine what is this set of information, different information from different sources, text information. It's, I mean, a lot of it. And doing it by hands, it's problematic. But what you really like to, you would like to have your personal assistant who will be connected to this information everywhere. And this is what we are doing. All right. AI assistants. I think that you already got the main flavor of why we would like to develop our own AI assistant and where this task arises. So, especially when you need to control where information comes from. So, we already discussed different types of assistants, like the one who will consult you on law, the one who will consult you even on restaurants. The very question always is where this information will come from. So AI assistant, you can think of it as just yet another technology that makes navigation super easy. It's just a way how to find information. But the main value behind these AI assistants is information that can be retrieved, that can be analyzed, and can be provided to people. So, I mean, AI revolution is a revolution indeed. So it's like a revolution compared to internet adoption. What internet made possible? Communication, right? So it made possible to spread information quickly among all the participants of network. But in terms of where this information comes from, there was nothing new. So the companies that were responsible for accumulation of information, so intelligence units, they are the same. So these are Bloomberg, these are Reuters, these are, all these big informational companies. They are basically the same. So here again, the same idea applies. What really creates value is the source of information, is the information itself. What makes this information accessible? These are AI assistants. All right. About these AI assistant solutions. So this is a real screenshot that I do not know how many of you have already tried this. Especially, I do not know how many of you tried using API in OpenAI platform account, but we have it. Well, because this is just a part of our business, but we do it. And one way that you can proceed there is to build your own assistant. So you can, and it will be based on retrieval-augmented generation, for example. So you can provide texts, you can provide also some instructions, you can choose a model, you can provide system instructions, and this AI assistant will provide you answers based on the set of texts and different materials that you upload uh, to it. So here you see that there is a file search function that is enabled, and what you can see there is just the source of information. And what are the advantages of it? Well, you do not need to know how to use Python, etc. You just upload your materials there, and bam, in a second you can retrieve information from these sources. You just need to have some tokens, some money on a balance, and that's it. But when it comes to economics of such a solution, we came up to a conclusion that it is way expensive and it will be more expensive than deploying your own RAG assistant. Why? Because the solution that OpenAI provides is, I mean, super clever. It's super uh, advanced, but at the same time, it consumes a lot of tokens. Sometimes, especially in a practical application, your customer would like to have a, more cheaper solution, just to be just to be able to retrieve. So there is always there is always a trade-off between quality and the cost of implementation. And sometimes you really need to have this balance skewed towards cost efficiency rather than quality. Unfortunately, OpenAI still has a solution that is super expensive, but maybe they will fix it somehow in the future. Yeah, there are some substitutions. So not only OpenAI provides API keys, not only OpenAI provides you the uh, background framework that allows for developing your own assistants. Also, Google provides it in a Google AI Studio. And in terms of quality, I would say that they are pretty comparable, but you can try to do it on your own and see whether it works for you as good as it worked for me. So here, what you can see is an example that we implemented, I think today or yesterday, and it's completely free, I think. And what was uploaded is my own paper. So you can see that PDF is uploaded, and you can see what is the size of this paper, like two, 24 and a half thousands of tokens inside. And what this assistant does, it provides an answer based on this material. Like tell about monetary policy and the diagnostic expectations. So this was basically the topic of my paper. And what it provides information retrieved from this paper, and I would say that it gives a pretty nice answer. So I would be happy if people who are reading my paper would get this particular information, get this particular message from my paper. Yeah, so I'm pretty satisfied with all these solutions. And of course, my paper is something like 54 pages, 54. You can think of materials way more in terms of their volume in pages, like hundreds of pages. And this solution will try to find relevant information from these materials. And finally, about our own solutions that we are working right now. And here comes the answer why we called our project the Alumnium. Because we were talking about AI and blockchain. So where this Alumnium project comes from, and it comes from a very simple idea of developing a student assistant, and this was the idea that we come up with, I think, a year ago during in a kitchen of my house in Milan, in Italy. We were talking with a friend of mine, and I just said, like, it seems to be cool if we had an assistant that would give us all information about accommodation, how to find a flat in Milan, how to, what courses to take, and how to prepare for interviews, and all of this stuff. And we started working on that. And the idea was to develop a student AI assistant that will be based on retrieval-augmented generation. So basically, it will provide you relevant information that it collects from everywhere. And after that, in a second, you will get an update if something important was released somewhere, so you will not miss some important post or some important event announcement, etc. But eventually, we came up to a decision that all the very important information comes from people who already graduated. So this is knowledge that does not exist yet on the internet, but it exists in their heads, in their minds. And this is how this project started, and it's scaling, constantly scaling, because well, more and more people find this idea inspirational, and they join our team, helping us with interview conduction. So about this interview, so how to collect information that does not exist? You need a survey, either you need an interview, as it usually happens. So you need to talk to person. But the problem here is that how it was done before, uh, that you have a, say, collective call, you just interact and that's it. Nowadays, it's possible to record it, right, and to extract all the information from what we were talking about. By the way, if you're thinking that we're just uploading our videos on YouTube, that's not right. We are recording all our sessions in order to compile lecture materials afterwards, just to have lecture notes, so refined text of each lecture. The same can be done with interviews with anyone. So if you're talking to somebody and you're asking about his personal background, personal experience, you can always ask him a permission to record this dialogue, and after that, use this text retrieved from this interview as a source of knowledge that you can provide to people. And this is what we are doing. So we are not only we are building a network of active people who wants to participate and who wants to donate their knowledge to current students, but we're also developing an AI assistant, so the platform that you can use in order to ask questions and get the relevant answers. So what are these questions that you can ask? For example, how to prepare for an interview in investment banking. And of course, it is invaluable when you have a friend who already works in investment banking sector, because he will just tell you what he was asked and what how he did prepare for this and etc. What we did, we just talked to this person and you do not need to do that. So we did for you. And we extracted this type of helpful information from this interview. We labeled uh, so yeah, so we labeled all possibly important information there, labeling what actually important in different parts of this dialogue. And yeah, these experiences that are super helpful for current students because well, this is just one example of a question, right? There could be hundreds of questions of this type when you really need to address a person who already graduated. And this is a problem that we have so far, right? So we have alumni, or as they call it, alumni. I let me call it alumni. I like alumni, so I will call it alumni. And alumni is a network of people. They exist somewhere. Where you can find them on social networks. Yes, you can. But how you can communicate with alumni there? How you can get knowledge from all these alumni? Just texting them there and hope, and you will need to hope that they will answer. So data, and here by data we mean knowledge, is not accessible. So it is accessible, but you really need to put some effort in order to get it. It's not automated. So I mean, if you do not have a you do not have a chatbot that you ask about what to do and instantly you get an answer. So it will take your time in order to get this information. And in all these social networks, you do not interact with this information. So the only interaction you have is interaction with a real person, texting him or her. But you do not have a chatbot that would be interactive and giving you like you are asking a question and you are sure that 100 of alumni are answering this question. This is what we want to solve. Introducing a system that will be based on the data that we collect ourselves. So we collect this data by conducting interviews and providing afterwards this information to the current students. And as you may guess, the underlying technology is retrieval-augmented generation. So what are these knowledge base? In our example, these are interviews that we are conducting. We are talking to people, we are getting knowledge, we're constructing our knowledge base, and after that, Information will be retrieved from this knowledge base as soon as person has any question. So this final model will provide response based on these interviews. And always it can provide direct citation. So it can give you even you link to a source. Needless to say that it can even provide you a link to a person who said this, if this person agreed to share his contacts. So we are basically building new type of social network where people before joining network they share their knowledge. So basically you are creating your image, your AI, let's say, profile, who shared the knowledge, and you put this knowledge inside this AI profile, and basically people are interacting with the digital profiles of real people. Isn't it inspirational? I find this one is a sort of a small revolution that we are doing. Because what are the revolutions that happened before? Revolution that happened before, these are social networks like Facebook, and after that, different replications of Facebook, but more sophisticated, like LinkedIn, for example. But the same idea, right? So you have your network of your contacts and the people that you can text wherever you want. But the problem is that the only source of information is these people, real people. So people are communicating with people. Let's communicate with digital copies of our wounds. I would like to have such a copy. So you just, create your own digital copy, make it public, and after that, thousands of people can communicate with this digital copy, uh, getting access to the experience that I had. So sounds cool, doesn't it? The pipeline, I think that super clear. You have an interview, you convert it to a text. After that, you extract relevant information, structure it, and after that, you are building an AI assistant that will respond based on these interviews. So this is how it looks like. Pretty simple example. I mean, it's under development, but in order to show, I think it's super clear that you ask a question, and our assistant provides you information based on the real interviews that we conducted, providing you exact citations. So basically, parts of text where this information was provided by these real people. Okay, I have one example more, one more project that we are involved in, and I think that it's going to be the second revolution in terms of financial and economic information. So but I wouldn't make a spoiler. Yeah, I wouldn't make a spoiler. I wouldn't explain all the details of a solution because I want to leave it to you. So you can also think how you can organize it and come up with an idea of a project because it's going to be your homework, your last assignment. And but let's try to think together. So where are these sources of information? So suppose you want to know what's going on in the worldwide economy, where you will get this information from.
Newspapers and
Okay,
websites
good.
like Yahoo Finance.
Good, very good. Where else? Good, good. Let's think of more sources.
Official papers,
Nice. What are you talking about exactly?
like published scientific papers
Okay, by not by scientists, but for
by
example,
researchers,
okay, by say central banks, right? Who else has reports?
companies,
Companies. Thousands of companies. They are reporting every day. Thousands of reports. So even at the moment, there is a company that will be reporting. If you do not believe me, let's do it. I mean, I will show you how to see it in real time. If you have never used it, perhaps you will find it relevant. I like to show it just to demonstrate where the core information about this world is concentrated in. All right, like that. You will not see the password. Okay, good. Nice. All right. Let's see whether it's open. I think it should be. Okay, it takes time, but let's say that we're interested in Tesla, and Tesla has its own reports. And I know that less than a month ago, I think that they had earnings call. Let's see. Okay, so you see webcast. Webcast. What is a webcast? Webcast, basically you can listen what they are discussing in the real time during their financial results meeting. So when they are announcing their results. So this is it. You can even listen to what Elon Musk was saying. I do not know whether you can. Okay, perhaps you need just to provide some information, and after that you can get the access to it. But PDF report is super fine, so even we can see it. Yeah, Tesla is not very creative in the sense how they organize their reports. So this is it. I mean, black font and just some white and gray letters. So that's it. Uh, but again, so what you're really interested in these numbers and how they correspond what analysts were expecting from Tesla. And if you get this information quickly enough, or not only this information, but also the whole summary, because what they can talk about, these are different risks that are related to tariffs, let's say, whether they have this tariffs issue. Yeah, from shifting tariffs, okay, tariffs, increase in tariffs, tariff, again, tariff. So, yeah, so you can also analyze different risks and make a decision how this announcement of information will affect stock prices. So if your final goal is to create trading strategy, so that's going to be your informational arbitrage. Let's put it that way. But you could be not only interested in trading signals extracted from all this information. You can be interested in providing reports. So say that you are a central bank, or say that you are just some you know international institution like International Monetary Fund or some banks of development, and you really need to understand what's happening in the US corporate sector. So if you have access of all these reports, and you can in real time see what all these companies are talking about in their press releases, during their earnings calls, then you will have up to date information about the stance of economy and what these people are concerned about. This is also very important. What companies are concerned about, and of course they are disclosing it to their investors. because the investors must know what the management is concerned about. All right, so I'm leaving it up to you. Let's you will come up with your interesting ideas how to implement an assistant yourself in your very last assignment. And I think that we can stop for today, unless you do not have any questions. All right, no questions. Then I want to say again, thank you very much for your attention. We did not expect that that many of you would survive until the very end. For us, it's a pleasure that so many of you were involved in a programming assignments that you completed successfully. And yeah, thank you very much for your attention. And as I said before, if you are interested in what we are doing, and if you are thinking of getting some practical experience, you can always text me, write me an email, and we will consider you joining any of our ongoing projects. We will be really happy to see you as a part of our team, at least because you are the survivor. All right. So, yeah, see you again, and thank you very much for your attention.